Hello and welcome to my Chubby Check-in, where you get to see how chubby I've gotten over the last 6 months. But no, on a serious note, this is my 6-month update of being pregnant after having a tummy tuck and after losing a significant amount of weight with weight loss surgery, which was 4 years ago. And those of you that go by weeks, I'm 25 weeks and I will be 26 weeks tomorrow. So I'm going to start off with my weight. When I got pregnant, I was 159 and I was 10 pounds overweight. So they recommend, whoever they are, I don't know, that I should have gained between 15 and 25 pounds. But I blew by that with flying colors because I'm awesome. And I've already gained 26 pounds at my 26-week mark. I'm weighing around 185. So I was a little bit concerned with it, but not overly concerned. I know that part of the reason is because I've had to return to eating foods that I learned are not cohesive with me wanting to maintain a particular weight. Like I don't eat them ever since I lost weight and I realized they led to my weight gain, which is significant amounts of grain products like cereal, waffles, bread, toast, spaghetti, crackers, what else? Granola bars. And unfortunately, those are the things I've had to be eating because they stay down. So one thing I did want to talk about, because in my last video, someone was kind of accusatory in a comment that they left talking about pregnancy cravings are just head hunger and you shouldn't be eating those things just because you want to. And I can agree with that to a certain point. However, after losing a lot of weight and not wanting to go back to where I used to be, I am very cautious of paying attention to when I have a craving, when I'm actually hungry, all those sort of things. So sometimes are cravings complete head hunger? Absolutely. Sometimes can someone use the pregnancy card and say, I'm pregnant, I'm going to eat this? Absolutely. And sometimes they have. So for instance, in the past, when my husband would say, do you want to go for a cupcake? I would say, nope. And now when he says, do you want to go for a cupcake? I say yes. And that's me using my pregnancy card. However, I've had some cravings that are legitimate cravings that if I don't eat them, my stomach expels everything that I've put in it for the day. So as an example, you guys know that after going through this whole process, I try to live as natural as possible. I try not to eat too many processed foods. I don't eat fast food. I try to buy body products that are more natural. But since being pregnant, I've probably eaten more fast food in these past 6 months than I have in the last 5 years. And that is really heartbreaking to me, but sometimes it's the only thing I can keep down. So let me kind of explain that. Just as an example, one day when I woke up, I was craving, I don't remember if it was, the two typical things I'm craving are either mashed potatoes from KFC or Boston Market or cheesy potatoes and pintos and cheese from Taco Bell. So the whole day I tried to kind of ignore it. So I had a breakfast, which was like a healthier choice cereal with fruit and unsweetened almond milk, puked it up. For lunch, I had like a spinach salad with fruit and nuts and chicken, puked it up. For dinner, I either had chicken or fish with sweet potato and cauliflower, puked it up. So eventually it's kind of like, you know what am I going to do? Am I just going to keep puking everything up or am I going to eat what I know I can keep down? And unfortunately, what I can keep down sometimes is fast food. So the other day, something similar happened where I was having a rough day and puking up a lot of things. And we went to Taco Bell. I got cheesy potatoes and pintos and cheese. And halfway through eating it, I started crying because I felt so bad because I know how bad it is for me and I don't want to eat it while I have a developing child inside of me. But it's kind of like, you know what, like if that's what my body keeps down, that's what my body keeps down. So I did talk to my midwife about my concerns with my weight because I know most people gain the majority of their weight in the second half of their pregnancy. So at that point I was close to 25 pounds and I said, could I potentially double what I've already gained? And she said, yes. She said she wasn't worried about it, but if I could maintain from that point forward that I had already gained enough weight and that would be okay. However, I don't think that's realistic. At that point, I had 4 months left in my pregnancy. There's no way I wasn't going to gain any weight. So what I thought was, okay, well, don't use my pregnancy card too much. Try to make the right choices, dealing with the fact that you have to eat more grains than normal, and try to gain only a pound per week for the rest of your pregnancy. That'll put me right at the 40-pound mark. That'll stop me right at 199, which is under 200, which I really don't want to hit 200 because I spent a lot of years of my life in the 200s and I didn't like it. So I'm hoping around 40 pounds will be good for me. The other thing she told me is that she had one client who, while she was pregnant, the only thing she could keep down was bread. And that woman gained 80 or 90 pounds. She had another one that could only keep down Cheetos and gummy bears, and she ended up gaining 60 or 70 pounds. So again, she wasn't overly concerned. Her thought was eat what you can keep down. And for me, that's been sometimes fast food, but mainly the grain type stuff. So that's my response to pregnancy cravings. For the next part, I'm going to show you guys my stomach first because it'll help make sense of the rest of the things I'm going to talk about. So reminder, this is 6 months pregnant, or almost 26 weeks pregnant after having a tummy tuck a year ago, and 4 years after having weight loss surgery. So let me show you first in my clothes. Okay, so this is a regular shirt. These are maternity pants, and I'm 6 months pregnant, or 26 weeks. Let me turn to the side. I think my butt looks more pregnant than my stomach does. So as you can see, I just look thick or chubby. Someone that doesn't know me wouldn't really know that I was pregnant. Let me show you without the shirt. Okay, so, all right. So my incision is here at the edge of my underwear. You can kind of see it. No changes to that. Stomach still smooth, no extra new stretch marks. I am gaining a lot of weight here in my flank area. A lot of weight in my thighs, a lot of weight in my arms, not a lot in my stomach. And I was just going to show you before I got pregnant, my waist was somewhere around 36 or 38 inches. So I'm just going to say 37. And as you can see now, I'm around 41. So that means I've gained about 4 inches in my waist. So. Okay, so again, any stretch marks that you saw, those are old, nothing new since being pregnant. One thing I wanted to talk about, kind of like the pros and cons of not showing and being this far along. One of the cons is that I'm not getting like the extra courtesy that people get when they're pregnant. For instance, the other day we went to an event that was super busy and there wasn't any seats, and I saw one empty seat and I asked if it was taken, and the lady was like, yeah, my friend's coming later. Well, I told my husband, I said, had I been showing, then I think everybody in that row would have gotten up to make sure I had a seat. So I am missing out on that. But what I'm not missing out on, because I don't really like people fawning over me, so I'm not missing out on that. I'm not missing strangers touching my belly. I'm not missing unsolicited advice from people I don't know. So, I mean, there's kind of more pros to it. The other thing, though, is like being this far along, like even though I'm not showing really externally, like I am starting to feel it physically. Like I move like a pregnant person that is big. Like I wobble a little bit. I have a hard time getting up and down. Not extremely. But I guess that's all really. So, and the other funny thing is there's a lady at my church. She's a month behind me. And I almost feel like when I walked up to her on Sunday, she accidentally like gave me the evil eye for a second. And she said something about how small I was, because she obviously is pregnant. Her belly's sticking out now. And then there's a lady at my work that's a week behind me, and she has like major belly bump. And every week she comes in and she says, oh, you're not showing yet. So my husband jokes that I go in and say, you're so lucky that you're showing. And she comes in and says, you're so lucky that you're not showing. So that's kind of funny because it's like halfway truthful. But I guess there's benefits either way. So the last thing I wanted to say is one of the most exciting things about being pregnant is that not just feeling the baby move, but actually watching whatever body part it is, like the arm or the leg or the booty or whatever, when I can actually see my stomach moving. I think that's really cool. Or when I feel a kick, like actually watching my stomach bounce out in that particular spot. So that's pretty cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to try to update more often. Since being pregnant, I'm so not motivated. So kudos for those people that come on and do weekly updates, because that's not me. So, all right, guys. Mwah.